you've got questions, guys, we've got answers for your relationship. We relationship coach Oliver Marcel from Denolli LLC, guys. We sat down and had a really candid conversation with him so you guys could benefit from it. Let's get into it. How do you work through big issues as couples? So let me give you an example here. Right? Okay. For example, I was just interviewing a porn addiction counselor the other day and have it for a podcast episode later in 2022. I've already actually interviewed one. And so, I mean, that could be a really devastating thing in a marriage. So how do you and Denise mend fences on the big things? How do you approach the big problems?
Man, this is going to sound simple, and I'm not trying to simplify it at all because it is a process. But there's one key thing for the two of us that we learned. I can't even say we learned it early on. We learned it through trial and error. Is that we had to talk. Like for the two of us, we did a lot of, well, she should know that, or he should know that, or I'm not going to say something for what one particular reason or another. And then once that happens, I conjure up my own ideology. She conjures up her own, and we react to each other based on what we've conjured up in our mind. But nobody said a word to each other. We haven't talked about it. We haven't talked through it, haven't expressed anything at all. And so for us, man, we're really big on conversation. And so that's probably the first step. I can't say that solves it all, but that's the first step, that we actually are able to sit down and take our conversation through 3 areas. And those 3 areas are explanation, clarification, and negotiation. So there's some level of like, okay, we're explaining what's happening right now. We're asking questions. We're sharing our viewpoint. We're able to clarify, no, that's not what I meant. That's not where I was going. That's not what I was trying to say. Here's what I was trying to say. And then we're able to kind of negotiate. Okay, well, next time, I would prefer if you do it this way, or I didn't really like how you said that. Maybe we could say it a little different, and then maybe it wouldn't come across the way it came across. So for us, that's kind of the first step, man. And that has been a game changer for us. And then obviously, once the negotiation happens, you got to actually follow through and do what you said. But yeah, for us, man, the conversation piece has really been paramount to us getting through some of those 3 things. And I saw somebody say, what were the 3 things again? It's explanation, clarification, and negotiation. So being able to have the freedom and the opportunity to explain yourself. And then, or ask some questions if you don't understand something from your spouse. My wife will say something, or something will happen. I'll be like, okay, I didn't really get that. And now we're being a little bit more honest, I guess, which would be the second part of that. We're being a little bit more honest. So now I'm like, okay, you know what? I need you to explain that, because that kind of came out a certain way. And before I actually jump out the window with my shotgun self, were you trying to say such and such and such? It's like, no, I wasn't trying to say that. I was trying to say this. And so that takes us into the clarification phase. And then once we get through that phase, the negotiation phase, I can be like, oh, okay, all right, I got it. Next time, you don't say this and this, because that made me feel, and we can kind of talk through it, man. And so that's been beneficial for us.
I hope that was as helpful for you as it was for me and my wife. And guys, if you're interested in more, check out this video next, and we'll see you on the next one.